Anyway, change it up a little bit. We do formalities. But wondering about life and existence and everything, that kind of stuff, you know? It's like, I just like, it's not really comfortable. Just existing could be, I guess that's one of the Buddhist teachings, especially in the knowledge, teaching or something, feeling the knowledge, things, you know? And be the recipient of the religion. You know, it's almost like the Buddhist communication, you know, first thing about the Nazi meditations is to clear your mind and you concentrate and you clear the will and do the things out of your head. And that's the things one of his very usually, you know, just don't believe that. Almost like believe it's just feeling rapidly confused. Feels like it's like a fire feeds on itself. The more you consume it, the more it happens. The more it happens, the more you consume it. It's just like this vicious evilness. At least I'm saying, you know. Sure, other people see it too. Absolute nastiness and evilness. Like, I guess kind of referred to as, I guess, mass meeting and civil disorder. These are all indicators of civil unrest. When you get civil unrest, the citizens of the, there's going to be a divide in class and classes. Things become too invaluable for the people on the lower end of the spectrum. They become more violent. the uh, things very honest, become more brazen, become more violent. One of the things that the government, governments, try to do is they try to let the masses be placated by consumption of stimulants. So, traditionally, I guess governments allow people to use stimulants like alcohol to anesthetize the population. Now they've, well, they used to, cocaine used to be legal. Marijuana is legal in a lot of countries. So, these are all, in my opinion, things used to anesthetize the population. So everything's going to be all right if you consume things that inhibit your brain, your mind, and everything like that. So it's like they want, there are people the ruling classes want the masses to fall into line, and you know by falling into line, they you know it's go to work. People to go to work and food, make some more money. This one of these concepts and problems of capitalism is when it runs away different itself. And that was out here in Paris, anyway, capitalism, one of the ways to run away capitalism, inflation, stuff like that, they're hard to contain because inevitably, there's change. But it's a bit, it's a bit complicated problem. Honestly, I'm not really feeling this one yet. Oh, what I'm gonna do is, so, sometimes do the best that I can. It's, thing is, when you go to a country road and something like this, right? Yeah, that's the idea sometimes, think about like neighborhoods and blocks and stuff. It's not the same thing like that in the city. People are very territorial creatures. I don't know. People are territorial creatures. So people are the really maybe uniform, the silence, and the desire to, to, God knows, again, for instance, in such a family, if you realize these spaces and such a family, that it's not going to be a good idea to just keep going maybe it's get the system, maybe it's enough. That's what showing how to be here in East Chicago. There is one thing I have to do around. I'll tell you that exists. I don't know if you got the window, it's just sort of a third line. But I am, in a nice area, people, I'm a piece of dirt around my neck. It's just gentle. You know, some people, sometimes, so I'm not the brightest idea of mine. You get there, a couple times, just a little hard. You get close and get close. Actually, it's just for the end, you know, but even though it's really like, because of, country stuff and stuff like that, it's definitely considered a deal, some down places, it's just, um, maybe I'm just becoming more and more paranoid, Got the little feeling in the stomach. I went back to the US a few years ago. 2000, we went back to the first six for a little bit, 5 years. We go by myself. Things are great. We have enough money. We couldn't have any money. You know? Get that feeling in your stomach, you know? It's that feeling of, it's not so much a feeling of you feel like you're standing on top of the building, bungee jump or something like that. It's kind of like that feeling, you know? Like that stomach feeling in you. Because I guess that's what it is. It's like that kind of feeling that comes from the feeling of uncertainty. And stop here just for a little bit to really to appreciate these horses. Boy, they put my snake with me. I don't want to get hit by a truck passing behind me. There's some pretty horses. I have people out today. Anyway, yes, sir. move a little bit. But yeah, so it's that feeling of knots in the stomach, because of like the different thing is like a fear factor. A fear factor? Is that what, I guess that's like I don't feel petrified in fear. I definitely feel like stomach, you know, and things aren't right. I mean, like, I don't know why. The things should be just fine. You guys here right now, where I am, and everything like that. I'm just fine. Got money. Got everything seems to be alright. You know? And I see these things on the internet, and it really makes me sick. You know, like, obviously the first vaccination was very, very sick. So, the frame sickness not working. So, hey, hey, yay! Double off! À,เอาไปบ้านทำอะไรถ้าว่าผมไปนี่บ้านทำประมาณกี่กิโลเมตรครับประมาณกี่กิโลเมตร14 กิโลเมตรเดี๋ยวลงไปเลยอันดับภูเขาต่อยไปกับยายดีกว่าน่าจะบีวันนี้เขาบีมาเตือนอ่าแล้วก็วันนี้เราดูมวยคนญี่ปุ่นกับคนอเมริกาเออสิบเที่ยงอ่าประมาณ1 ชั่วโมงอันนี้สำหรับบีอ่ะอ๋อโอเคแกงนะแกงผักโอเคยายเอาอะไรไหมโอเคอ๋อโอเคยายบ๊ายบาย Yeah, that's my wife's mother. We're talking about um, when we do there and we watch the boxing match. She gave me food for a dollar. She gave me directions to the place that I want to go. The nuns, I was pretty sure it was that way. She said it was about 15 kilometers or something like that, about 15 kilometers. Um, like I stood there. She says, I go with her. Totally agree with that. It's a um it's a lot, you know. And there's a food system up there. Let me I mean, and, uh, you know, it's real foods and stuff like that. And I learned a little bit, you know. I guess I'm not gonna I'm not gonna become a primary sport thing or anything like that, which I wouldn't even do if I was in my 20s. I think these days, from what I know now, and the dangers and stuff like that, if people going stupid things, I used to just go, hey man, I was like in 1984, I came to the top of the Manhattan Bridge in 1984. And terrified. I had a picture of it because I went with my best friend at the time, his name was Hampton, and his brother, and we both climbed to the top. And he brought a camera with him. He was point and shoots. And he took a picture of me. I took a picture of him. He was 14 years old. And, I had a picture. I didn't have a picture framed, and my brother had it framed for me for my birthday. When I guess my 15th birthday or 16th birthday or something like that. I don't know exactly what picture, but it was a picture. First thing you want to see it, turned into the top of Manhattan Bridge. It's pretty stupid. These days, I think, I mean, in the office, I mean, even then, we was illegal to do. So, the police actually showed up when we got to the bottom. If we climbed down, the police had showed up, and they actually, this is a really worst that happened in my life. The police asked me and my friend if we had seen any suspicious characters, right? Yeah, they went that away trick, you know. And then my friend and I we went down there. Uh, we had a bicycle, one bicycle between us. It had one pedal, no seat. So at this particular time, he Anthony was kind of I don't know how we move it. But the both of us were on this bicycle that basically was like broken down. We got to the bottom. We got our bicycle away. We got our treasure. Our treasure was that camera in the picture that we had taken. That was a treasure. And, so when we got away with the picture, we'd actually had hung a banner. We knew that was a bed sheet. And on the bed sheet, we painted something like "Save the Environment" or something like that. Like sort of like trying to like champion environmental issues or whatever at the age of 14 by climbing the top of the Manhattan Bridge and putting this banner that people would, see. And wait, a banner that people would see. And, just, something about the environment. It was 1984. That was a long time ago. 42 years ago. 30, 33 years ago, something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure about things, like thinking a lot about family and stuff like that. And obviously, that's really important. You know, just like, I wish I could go home, just go back home to mom's house, dad's house. Just go home. It's a kid, right? Sometimes I think there's who wrote JD Ballard, JJ Ballard, the guy who wrote Empire of the Sun. Uh, his name basically what he was an English guy who lived in Hong Kong and he had to evacuate before during World War II. And JG, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's JG Ballard. Anyway, he wrote this book called JG Doesn't Live Here Anymore. And that's I think that's what he wrote. But then there was this other one that was written like can't go home anymore or something like that. Something. It's gonna be going home. And that's the way it is. There is no more going home. You know. When I went back to the United States, I ran into a friend of mine who older than me, right? I've known him since I was very young, and he knew that both my parents passed away a number of years ago. And he said to me um, that after your parents passed away, you become an orphan. Your friends, your family, priceless. I don't have too many friends anymore. A number of reasons. A lot of it has, well, a lot of it has to do with moving around so much. You know, living so many different places. Uh, Been across the United States 5 times, lived various places, did various things. Lived in London, lived in, lived in Thailand 25 years. So, it becomes difficult to stay attached to people. I mean, I'd love to get out of the Facebook. I guess that was maybe 15 years ago or something like that. I mean, I thought it was great. It was like really impressive. I think it was one of the worst things that ever happened because it makes people reflect on themselves. It makes people reflect on themselves, compare themselves so much. And then it can I don't know, like, have emotions with emotion and stuff like that. People go back different than anybody else. People just go nuts. And then this stuff seeps out into the real world. I mean, it's like that's how it is. Mass insanity. So, I I mean, I was taking it for a little while, catch up with people and stuff like that, but I ended up losing my mind. You know, That's important. Get the FSC.